Hi, my name is Erik Egerup, and I'm from Sweden. I studied industrial design, and then I quickly moved over to game art, computer game art, where I later on became art director at Ubisoft Entertainment in Sweden. And now I've been 3 years in India working for Dhruva Interactive in Bangalore. I started with industrial design, but I really wanted to. I was very interested in game art and games in general, and I wanted to try it out. So I applied for an internship at Massive Entertainment at that time. And their project at that time, World in Conflict, when that got approved for production, I got a job and I started working. Painting ground textures and making a lot of surrounding environments. Then I worked very close to the art director there and became associate art director, doing concept art, working a lot with the other artists to improve the art. And that led, when we later on got bought out by Ubisoft, that led to me getting an art direction position for Far Cry 3. Where we made the multiplayer and co-op in Sweden, whereas the single player was made in Montreal. And, I got a job offer in Bangalore, India. I thought that would be a good move for me in two ways. In India, I get to work on several projects, maybe 10 projects at a time, and I still get to work with the best games in the world and the coolest art in the world. And there I also now is more working as a studio art director and having a couple of art directors under me. Cool art. Gaming industry in India, it's still fairly small, but I think it's really growing in two ways. I work mostly with a big so-called AAA projects, the big budget projects being made in the US and Europe, and we are only working on mostly graphics and animation over here. The industry itself in India, I think, is more focused on the iOS games and the handheld games, and that is growing a lot with a lot of small, cool startups popping up. Yeah, as a market, it definitely hasn't reached yet. It's been hard, but I think it needs to find its own market. You can't really take the same kind of games that are selling in the rest of the world and market in India. I think they will find its own way. iOS and all the handheld have really pushed the market. I think that's where it is right now. More and more people are getting a smartphone, are getting the possibility to play games because PC is not very big. The console, the video game consoles are not very big in India. So it needs its own format. Most people. So I work just with art. So I can start with art. I think art is like a lot of people are getting into it as modelers or even 2D artists. Like either draw 2D art or you model 3D art. or animation. And from there, the obvious things are like becoming a team lead and becoming art director, taking more and more responsibility for art. But you can also go deeper and become more of a specialist, it's still about solution finding and finding ways to make things look like you want it to look like. Then you have a the game design career is there, where it's more about how you play the game and how do you design the kind of adventure or the gameplay of the game. Where I think the highest you reach there is creative director and really having responsibility for the game. But there are a lot of, and then programming is the third big chunk of game industry. Ten years ago, when I started to got into this in Sweden, it was the same thing. It has that sense of okay, you're just playing all the time, or what are you doing? But just like the film industry or music industry, like industrial design or any of the creative arts, it is a real job, and the industry is growing. The demand for more and more content is definitely there. We are at Dhruva looking for talent all the time. We need to grow it. I think India has a huge potential with the kind of people that are here, with a mix of technical and kind of education, as well as artistic and kind of free thinking and creative people. So the potential is definitely here, and I just hope that it will grow and that we'll get more and more talent. At that time, I was playing a lot of the Blizzard, like kind of Diablo and Starcraft, and I really loved the kind of fantasy sci-fi world at that time, like being a teenager and kind of get into these new worlds and imagining what they look like, and then I wanted to draw it myself, and then I realized I want to make this. I don't want to just look at it or play it. I want to make it. I think there are a couple of requirements. Obviously, there a certain level of tool knowledge, like being proficient with Maya or Max, 3D modeling, little ZBrush, and more IC sculpting coming in. I think you have to have a little bit of a artistic mind. You prefer having some kind of fine art background or some kind of skill level in art. But I think the beauty with the games industry is also that some people can be more technical, and some people can be a little bit more artistic and find their way to work with game art. So I would say it can vary a lot. Too many people are focusing on the big successes like Angry Bird and Temple Run or something like that. But I think there are a lot of I would look at games that are getting really high score, because that is more telling you about maybe the future and maybe how to get into the industry. Of course, when you make your own game, might be about financial success, but it's still a creative industry. So to look globally at the industry is a huge industry. It's very wide, and I think be prepared to work a little bit. You might have your favorite game that you want to work with, but I quite quickly realized that might not be the most fun game to work with. So be a little open to where you will end up, and just enjoy the ride and kind of be creative. might need to work even too hard. Be focused, be true to yourself, and make sure that you always enjoy what you do. I don't think you can work in this industry if you don't have passion for it, if you really want to do it. So make sure that you have that passion and do what it takes to keep it alive. If that means that you need to start your own business or get into a really big company, different things fit different people. But as long as you grow as an artist, as long as you keep being good and work hard, I think you have a wonderful career.
Just one.